Run and the descent on the mountain.
Good Friday, 1981. A Christian holiday. But up on Mount Panorama, Bathurst, Easter produces some pretty pagan activities. Not that all motorcyclists are heathens, but you don't see too many motorcycles in church parking lots, or faces like these singing in the choir. These campers are different from other Easter holiday makers for one noisy, fast and dangerous reason. Production racing specialist Dennis Neal exercises the immensely powerful Honda 1100 around the 6 kilometres of closed public roads that every Easter become the arena for Australia's oldest and most prestigious motorcycle meeting, Bathurst.
We come up, back of a few production bikes, Pretty Hiscock, bit of iron, falling a bit down here, quite a bit more horsepower. Amazing how fast they get these production bikes around. Look around the outside. Up on the 35. He's on a bike similar to this, but in standard trim. I'm probably putting out another 30 horsepower. Got a lot more grip in the tyres. Just slip under him into there. Fire salvo, okay. We're up on the rear of the DSX 1100 here. We're a little bit wide there, but watch out, we'll pick him up down the straight. They're capable of about 150. There we are. We're moving way behind. Okay. 8,500. About 155. Where we are now? 155. Still now. Way back hard.
Today they practice, tomorrow and Sunday they'll race. Bathurst is an old town, and it's been hosting, or at least tolerating, the Easter races for exactly 50 years. But over that time, the tolerance and tempers have sometimes become a little frayed.
Well, at one time here they attempted to blow the carillon up with dynamite.
What's the carillon?
The carillion's the bell tower in the park there. Hooliganism, vandalism in the park. They got in the Baroni house and smashed all the Baroni house up. Different things like that. It just acts of willful vandalism.
One year they took all the seats out of Macadie Park and threw them into the fish pond and broke the eggs that the swans had laid, and you know, and sometimes you just think to yourself, oh well, you know, I won't get amongst that. But it's good for the young people, it's good for the town.
Oh, well, you get violence with any crowd, like it don't matter what functions goes on, there's always violence, isn't there?
And a lot of the young people who come here are just ordinary, decent people. We don't hold it against a lot of them. We do regret the rough element that play up and perhaps give the city a bad name.
Well, really, they don't cause any trouble to most of the people in town. It's just they cause trouble in a small part of the town. It's mainly at the Mount, I'd say.
Thousands of gallons of beer will be drunk over the next 3 days. Some will drink it with their meals, others will drink it instead of them, and a few will remain paralytically drunk for the whole time. But it's simply untrue to paint all the Bathurst arrivals as powerful thirsts on powerful motorcycles. Many have ridden for days, hundreds, even thousands of miles, just to see the racing and to meet again with friends from previous years. That's not to say, of course, that this is a teetotaler's pilgrimage. The secret is to stay just on the right side of the law.
It's just not enough.
Alright, my select box.
What mongrels are hiding on the side of the road for me?
Where?
Oh, just outside of Mount Landy.
Oh, yes, saw those.
Past somebody, and they blocked me.
For the spectators, arriving means the end of their motorcycling for 3 days. For the other half, down on the track, the long rides are just beginning. Dennis Neal, still practicing and still the big Honda isn't right. This will be a Bathurst which Neal will not quickly forget. Ron Boulden won the Senior Grand Prix here last year. And Greg Pretty from Phoenix, South Australia, forming with Neal and Boulden the 3 to beat.
I think that guard might grab on your tyres there. You might want to have a good look at them.
All the machines are officially inspected. For a racing motorcycle is a mass of potential weak links. Only a tiny patch of rubber touches the ground at any time. Stranded cables and lightweight rods control the most crucial functions of clutch, brakes and throttle. Failure of just one of these components on a true racing circuit would be bad enough. But on the collection of ordinary roads, which is Bathurst, there are fences, power poles, ditches, culverts and Armco barriers, edging a road designed for Sunday driving. Then there's the mechanics who must ensure that everything is just as it should be. To understand their responsibility to their rider, take a lift to the top of a 20-story building, and on the way up, think about the mechanic who last checked the cable.
If you may return to the pit, no other team members are permitted on the track other than those specified in this section. Only if the team member enters the track at... Only if the team member enters the track at any time, the rider will be black flagged. What we're saying is that we don't want to be Tom, Dick and Harry racing out on the circuit. That's really an answer to the question that Moyna asked. She got in too early there. But all of the pit crew stay in the pits. The co-rider and the rider are the only ones who have access to the circuit.
Well, the big thing is with it, it's so totally different from any other circuit. It's not something you just come to for the race meeting on the weekend. It's a full atmosphere. It's a week-long atmosphere. It's something you build yourself up to all the time. Track's demanding, it's fast, and it's got everything there that a racer wants.
We really never race on a track anywhere near as fast as this. So it's a circuit where a lot of guys who go good on the tight tracks necessarily might go very well up here. It's very much who's got the biggest heart, I think.
It's a matter of getting yourself sorted out and being as smooth as you can. The big thing you learn here is that if someone's going quicker than you, You know, you just ride at what you can. You don't try to catch them because it's not a tractor. Try to overextend yourself. You ride to your limit and that's all.
By Saturday, Bathurst's population has doubled. Today the racing begins, and whatever the local feeling about the descending hordes, there's the inescapable fact that every motorcyclist will need fast food, drink and somewhere to sleep. It all means money for the town. Perhaps the motorcyclists do make the place look untidy, but you won't find many service stations or milk bars or pubs closing in protest. The first big race this morning is the Unlimited Grand Prix, a 60-kilometre shakedown for the top riders. Slowing from 140 miles an hour, Coleman and Johnson nearly do it all wrong. Just there, and off down the escape road. 64 Greg Pretty leads, chased by Searle, Johnson and 59 Ron Boulden. It's early days, and in this race, no one's really risking limb or machine. Boulden slows, and Pretty, riding well within himself, is just too good, too together for the rest. Pretty wins comfortably, watched in comfort by the well-ordered crowd down on the flat part of the circuit. Here, as our mothers would say, you meet a better class of person. It's like the lounge bar in a pub. It's a fair hike up the mountain to, well, the public bar, where the track becomes more tortuous, up where the traditional Bathursters stake their claim every year. This is where anything goes. whether you're feeling laid back in the sun or still hungover from the night before. No one seems to mind much. It may just be the altitude, of course, but Mount Panorama seems to inflict everyone with an almost unquenchable thirst. Early Saturday afternoon, and suddenly things become serious. The Arai endurance race, the big money one. 500 kilometres to ride, and the reputations of Australasia's best riders and the Japanese factories are all at stake. The officials are nervous. Pretty looking for his second win of the day. These bikes bear at least some resemblance to the sort of motorcycle you can buy off the showroom floor. That's the point of this class of racing. The companies invest heavily in trying to produce a Bathurst winner. It makes good copy for next week's motorcycle press. Soon the race pattern emerges. Phyllis, Neil, Robbins, Pretty, Feeney. The opening laps are lightning fast. That's to be expected. But while the leaders keep up this pace, no one's letting up or settling down. It's not for the faint-hearted. Dennis Neal's Honda has passed Rod Phyllis on the Suzuki. Then it's Neil, Pretty and Phyllis. These three are beginning to clear out from the rest of the field, on whom the pace and the distance are beginning to tell. Neil, Phyllis and Pretty, but not for much longer. Phyllis is planning his move. Coming into the front straight, the Suzuki slips under the Honda and Phyllis leads. Pretty watches and waits. Then it's Neil again. No one really knows what happened.
Well, you feel very badly. I feel strongly whenever I see anyone go down. It's enough to make me want to stop riding. I was unfortunate enough to witness Rob Morehouse's death last year. But because of that, something good came out of it. We started a rider safety committee, and the very corner that killed Robbie Morehouse has all been fixed. There's sand traps and there's runoff area. And we were able to get a lot of corners changed here. It cost the Bathurst City Council a lot of money, but they were willing to do it. So we're hoping that bit by bit we can get this place reasonably safe, and then we will see overseas riders come out, because overseas riders wouldn't ride on a track like this. They would just, they boggle when they see it. This track is the most dangerous in Australia, one of the most dangerous in the world.
The Honda team now switches its attention to number 2 rider Vince Sharp. The show must go on. Honda will still search for the win. Dennis Neal has reached hospital alive. Now it's Suzuki and Yamaha. Phyllis and Pretty fight on. Phyllis pits for fuel. Watch that orange rag, especially as Phyllis leaves. You can just see a flash of orange as the rag wraps itself around the rear wheel.
Robbie should be inside in a couple of seconds.
Spare a thought for the Suzuki mechanic whose oil rag has disappeared into the spoke of Phyllis's wheels. Surely 50 cents worth of toweling can't stop $10,000 worth of motorcycle.
I'll never catch up. Run fast as I can. All right, just keep doing it, Rob. Right, go.
Pretty pits.
How are we doing? About 60 seconds in front. Hey? 60 seconds in front. How many? 60. A minute. Okay. A second, Greg.
A moment of concern, the Yamaha won't start. But when it does, they don't see Greg Pretty for dust. Greg Pretty is $3,000 happier. Castrol, Yamaha, and it seems Tui's will also be more than pleased. Vince Sharp has earned his airfare from New Zealand. But with 2 wins to his name, the day belongs to Pretty. Tomorrow he'll contest the Australian Grand Prix, but that's another day. Dennis Neal regains consciousness in hospital.
Wave to London.
Oh, I got my hat on.
You'll have one.
Oh, hang on.
You've got it.
You're right. Oh, that one?
Yeah. Where's the other two?
Right, I'll swim in this one. Yeah,
Take a hat. Yeah, we couldn't find him. He never turned up.
Don't tell me, you want me to go marshal for this race, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. No take.
Sidecar racing has probably done as much as any branch of the sport to paint motorcyclists as mad, bad and dangerous to know. The peculiar sight of grown men hurling themselves around public roads on three-wheel platforms seems to fire the imagination of the gang up the hill. Odd behaviour breaks out.